In a matter of hours, MTV will premiere the 5th season of the Challenge All-Stars. Or, depending on your opinions about the cast, MTV will premiere the 5th season of the Challenge
Some Stars.
And this time around, the show's found new ways to prey on my nostalgia by resurrecting its iconic Rivals theme. 13 pairs of enemies are set to compete, but like most duos seasons of the Challenge, not every partnership's lore is as juicy or as real as the next. While some pairs have palpable beef between them, others feel almost as random as Johnny Bananas and Frank or Cara Maria and Cook being partnered up on Rivals 2, despite neither team having ever appeared on the show together before. Ahead of tonight's premiere, I've decided to rank all the new duos based on how potent their rivalries are, because it's too cold where I live to go outside and do anything.
I never want to get my hands dirty. I'm a pleaser. I never want anybody to be mad at me. In this game, if I want to win, and if I want to break the curse of how I am and change, then this is what I have to do.
Starting with the pair that feels the most like two casting alternates smushed together into one team, Devin and Leroy both competed on the 36th season, Double Agents. There, Leroy sent Devin into elimination against a friend. Then, 4 seasons later, on Battle of the Eras, Devin said this about Leroy.
I'm secretly stoked that Leroy's in last. Leroy has played very shady games in the past and comes with a lot of connections. He's one person I won't be working with. So I wouldn't mind seeing Leroy go home.
As far as I can tell, that's the entirety of their rivalry, and it really makes me wonder if that Devin interview was only included so the All-Stars editors could more easily gaslight us into believing that Devin and Leroy are legitimate rivals. Though this won't be the first time either is part of a pair that barely fits the theme, it will be the first time I've ever thought a challenge season would be improved by removing Leroy and adding Bananas.
These bitches better prepare for Hurricane Ashley, honey, because I'm smashing skulls. I'm so mad.
Another pair that would make more sense if you subbed in people's best friends is Anissa and Ashley Millionaire Mitchell. Ashley will be the latest in a growing list of problematic cast members who have appeared on All Stars as a sort of soft launch before potentially rejoining the main series. She's not even the only person in this cast who fits that description. To me, Ashley's alleged rivalry with Anissa feels about as production manufactured as Devin and Leroy's. But by virtue of Ashley's insatiable appetite for shit-talking and Anissa's inexplicable appearance on almost every season, there are more one-off moments of tension between the women that the editors can cobble together into a pretend rivalry. There's this soundbite from the All-Stars 5 trailer.
Anissa is a pick-me girl.
There's the time Anissa and Ashley yelled at each other at the Champs vs. Stars reunion.
There are people on this stage, no matter for Champs or Stars, that showed more love than people that I've known for years, and that's it.
Discredited because I've always been there.
I'm not discrediting
well,
you, and the fact they're taking it.
They're there for you, Anissa. I was there for you when you broke your leg. I was in your bedroom.
we all were.
And then I hope these people are there if that happens again, because they're not going to be.
Once on Double Agents, Anissa tried to send 2 men into elimination, but it backfired. Then Ashley went in and went home instead. And there's also the time Anissa, Tori, and Josh talked at a Challenge Mania live event about Ashley's removal from Spies, Lies, and Allies. But mentioning that would require the show to finally acknowledge the podcast that gave them the idea to make their own podcast.
Ashley's my rival because I guess I had said some things during a Challenge Mania Live event.
I stand corrected.
I'm a very flirtatious person and I'll flirt with a brick wall. Like, that's just my personality.
Several years ago on the Challenge Vendettas, the 31st season, Melissa debuted as one of the first UK contestants to ever be on the show. Her game plan was to flirt with the strongest competitors, and that turned out to mean taking showers with Nicole. Though their fling was brief, it started in episode 3 and ended in episode 5 when Melissa got eliminated. I assumed the weak reason for why these two are rivals would be that Melissa used Nicole for strategy and screen time and possibly a ticket across the pond.
I do plan on coming to New York to visit her.
You're gonna come to New York to visit her.
But it turns out the real weak reason for this rivalry is that Melissa is friends with Nicole's ex.
Melissa and I are rivals because she decided to be best friends with my ex and post a bunch of shit on social media that I had no idea about and brag about it.
I got to know her ex and she was such a lovely girl. I really did change my opinion of Nicole, and It's not someone that I really like.
Yay, more Nicole and Laurel content. Said no one ever. Still, because Nicole and Melissa have real personal history, even if that's not how the show is explaining their rivalry, I ranked them just above the bottom of the list.
Ashley is extremely good looking. I'm a quad guy, a hamstring guy. You gotta have the legs. And then to top it off, she has a cake. Ashley may have the biggest butt in the house.
Ashley Kay and Dario is another pair that probably should have been saved for an All-Stars Battle of the Exes season. But at least these two are like actual exes. They dated in real life after meeting on the 29th season, Invasion of the Champions. I didn't find much information about their breakup other than it seemed to happen many years ago. Even if it was a mutual split, just having a shared past that includes a significant negative event like a breakup makes their rivalry more potent than any of the others we've covered so far.
Every time we pushed you, it was worth it, right? Right?
The things that Frank and Zach have both said to me will be there forever. The one thing in my head at this moment is you.
Frank and Sam have competed together on the challenge before as members of the Real World San Diego squad in the 23rd season, called Battle of the Seasons. Throughout their first outing as teammates, Frank criticized
Sam Spring, come on, you look like an idiot!
Accosted
Sam, quit throwing a temper tantrum and walk off the damn hill! It's not even a mountain!
You stop being so selfish!
Berated.
Having Sam as part of the team is like having 145 pound of fat slapped to your side. It's a tumor. It sucks.
And manhandled Sam all the way to the finals finish line, then continued to insult her even after they'd won the grand prize.
Don't you dare.
In the arena?
Honestly, Sam, I literally could say so much about you, and I am not doing
Okay, bye.
because
Let me just wait. Time out. Time out.
Oh my God.
Yeah, time out.
You guys, she's really not the victim.
Frank was such a villain, basically anyone he interacted with could have qualified to be his rival, including other people in this cast.
I'm sorry, but when you don't act like a lady, you're gonna get berated because you're being a fat. I will berate you until you cry and feel like.
You're a great friend, Frank.
You're right, you are too, Nani. Good luck. Have fun in Buffalo. Tell your sister to inject one more time. Hey! Hey!
You're 12 years old.
You're nothing but second best, you fat slut! Lose that temper! Step to me! You won't step to me because you're scared! I'm scared of you, bro? If you weren't scared, then you would step to me! All you got is your IQ.
All you got is your
up here. I will bury you both! Zach, that's it. Come on, let's go. That's it. It's over.
All I see right now is red.
But we're talking about Frank and Sam. Battle of the Seasons was Sam's only challenge appearance. Frank went on to Rivals 2, got slapped in the face at the reunion, was medically DQ'd after just a few episodes of Free Agents in 2014, appeared as a mercenary in an episode of Vendettas, and hasn't been on the show since. Despite some seriously toxic lore, I ranked Frank and Sam low because per Sam's appearance on the Zach Nichols podcast, now she loves Frank.
I love Frank.
These two women hate each other, and it's ugly. They're both in the wrong, and they're both out of their mind, and they're both on my team.
According to MTV, the origin of Katie and Veronica's rivalry is...
Back in the early 2000s, we played the gauntlet. We had secret ballots when we came to house votes, and Katie thought I was the one that was voting for her, when in reality, I was never voting for her.
But what Veronica left out is...
I'm not friends with Katie, and I'm not willing to be a hypocrite. I'm not willing to sit there and cheer her on when I don't want her on my team.
Sorry, I really don't like that girl at all. And I want to call her out and screw a few more cast members, slut. I have that big ass brown bag that's my best friend, so it might be in the whore's room.
She should be lucky, you know?
She's still here.
That she's still here. Because she sucks. She's really lucky that I can't, be physical with her. Because I want to slam her face into the ground. I want her to hit me. So I really want her to punch me so she can get the home.
Mike and Veronica start throwing insults at each other, and she turns around and insults me.
Yeah, because your girl Katie weighs way more than any of us.
You have to bring me into it.
Yeah, don't.
To you. It's not necessary. Lo and behold, that bitch Veronica beat me by a few seconds. Katie, you.
On the very next season after the Gauntlet, the Inferno, Veronica and the other road rulers threw multiple challenges so they could throw Katie into multiple eliminations. She won them all, sometimes while chain smoking, and whenever she wasn't fighting for her life in the Inferno, she was screaming at Veronica.
I hate her. That sneaky bitch Tarantula. I've never disliked somebody with as much passion as I dislike her. We go into the house and I go into Kendall's room and I see a skank by my side. I keep my mouth shut and then she starts talking and I see red. Veronica starts spouting off and I just scream.
Don't with me once again. Yeah, laugh, whore. Laugh. When I was talking to Kendall, did it involve your skank ass? No, it didn't, bitch. You are a short, squatty, acting face for the and you can go yourself.
I'd understand if the show decided acne-faced wasn't a 2025 approved insult, but I hope the season covers more of their feud beyond the Gauntlet arc. Katie versus Veronica is one of the challenge's earliest, most iconic rivalries. As a result of their beef being so old, it's long been resolved, which is why I ranked it low. But if it were 20 years ago, Katie and Veronica would be at the top of the list. Too bad YouTube wouldn't exist yet.
I am here to win money. I want to play a game.
Anything that you say when you're lying, manipulative.
To two
you've
people.
really showed your character of who you are. So any conversations that you've had, tried to pull my heartstrings, tried to manipulate things out of me.
Last year on Battle for a New Champion, Corey befriended Big T and supported her as she came out on national television. But when his alliance, which didn't include Big T, stopped trusting him, Corey tried to win them back by publicly announcing that he'd only been using Big T for information about the other side.
To be very honest, this entire time I've been lying to Big T and Melissa. I've been playing them. I wanted them to give me information so I can share it with my alliance, so I used you. That's fine.
You were alone. You
I was
told me that you
alone.
were
I'm
sad,
alone right now, too.
Very manipulative.
I can be, so can you, Big T. Don't act like you're innocent, ever.
Wow.
Ever.
It didn't work. Corey was unanimously voted into elimination. Then Big T got eliminated in the next episode, and we didn't see them together again until the reunion.
That move that I did got me to the final, Big T, so I did what the I wanted to do. Like what?
Not my confidence. What?
I'm not trying to knock you. Have I ever said anything bad about you ever? I said you were smart. I said you're good at this game. No, stop. I have never said anything bad about you.
Women? Why attacking women?
I'm not attacking women. You guys are...
Guys.
This doesn't make any sense.
Had it ended there, it's a top 3 rivalry. But Corey and Big T's story continued later that day at the reunion. Part 2.
I think I've learned, based on my mistakes this season, that there are things bigger than the game, and I went too far against both of you. And I do apologize.
Thank you.
And I do hope that we can somehow...
Small steps are better than no steps. Yeah.
Corey's betrayal was cold-blooded and is one of the freshest on the list, but his rivalry with Big T fell to the middle of the ranking because we literally just watched him apologize.
I don't think you play the game very honest. I think you're super shady.
Based on what?
Based on a lot of things.
Like what?
Janae. It's John A.
After John A. allegedly tried to drive a wedge between Beth and Kellyanne on All Stars 3, Beth started a rumor that John A. and her former teammate MJ were having an affair. They both denied it, then John A. took Beth on in an elimination, which Beth quit partway through because she thought MJ was giving John A. too much help from the sideline. Initially, I ranked this rivalry higher because of the highly messy rumor that started it, and as of several months ago, Beth still insisted was true.
You know, I think she's a cheater. You know, she's a total cheater, you know? And so that's how that came about, right? And then she was like, oh, so I heard you're talking about me over here. No. And I was like, yeah, I think you're a cheater. And I don't respect cheaters. I think you're a cheater. Yeah, you're a cheater, right?
Ultimately, Beth and John A. landed smack in the middle of the list because it's hard to take anything to do with Beth more seriously than that.
At this point, I'm fucking sick of being nice to you guys if you're not my friend. You know?
But I think I've been getting better.
Yeah, sure, until I won and you said shoot me if I ever fucking act like that if I win.
On the Challenge All-Stars 3, Kellyanne ran afoul of the Treehouse Alliance, a supremely unrootable septet, some of whom were responsible for the cliquish dynamic that infected part of the season. Veronica was the Alliance's leader, but Sylvia spent the most time in the interview chair complaining about Kellyanne.
It's not even that I have a huge dislike for Kellyanne. There is just something about her that gets under my skin. She drives me fucking crazy.
When I act like that, if I win, just shoot me, okay?
Eventually, Sylvia won the ability to stick someone with a disadvantage in a challenge. Naturally, she chose Kellyanne, so Kellyanne sent Sylvia into the elimination that would send her home. It's a case of Kellyanne successfully getting rid of the person who was already trying to get rid of her, and Sylvia being a really sore loser about it.
Sorry, Sil. Kelly, fuck off. Yeah, Kellyanne can eat shit. I said it once, I'll say it again, I'll say it until my dying breath. Fuck right off, Kellyanne.
Despite very standard gameplay being a boring origin story for a feud, Sylvia's provided plenty of mean sound bites about Kellyanne to fill up a why they're rivals explanatory flashback.
Going up to Kellyanne and having this conversation literally tastes like vinegar every single word that's coming out of my mouth. It's literally painful. But I do it because this $500,000 would be huge for my family. This is why I'm here. And if something happens, y'all bitches better step on Kellyanne's fucking throat. I don't give a shit if it was $1 million or not. Kellyanne can actually eat shit with an extra side of gluten.
And based on the trailer, they seem like one of the only duos who still actively dislike each other. They probably won't win the season, but for their yelling, they did crack the top 5 in the ranking.
Fessy, get down here.
All right, Fessy, come on down.
I'm gonna pick Fessy right now. He's been saying my name, so this time if you have to say my name again, you're gonna hit that button with your face right next to it.
As a former Big Brother player on Amber's first challenge season, Double Agents, she expected to be a member of the Big Brother Alliance with Josh, Casey, and Fessel. Instead, the group rejected Amber, and when she was paired up with Fessel late in the season, he volunteered for elimination to get a new partner.
I know sometimes I can come across as arrogant and overconfident, but I do not think I'm better than anyone. I just want to compete.
In the end, Amber won the final with CT as a partner, and Fessel received an extremely unflattering edit with one of the funniest conclusions the show's ever crafted. Next season on Spies, Lies, and Allies, the Big Brother crew, mostly Josh, tried a little harder to work with Amber. Fessel didn't even send her into elimination the first chance he had. He did send her in as soon as he had another chance, though.
Don't do it.
In the aftermath fight between the Big Brother alum, Amber got a drink thrown on her, and Fessel shoved Josh's face hard enough for production to disqualify him for violence. By the next season, Ride or Dies, Amber had given up on trying to work with the other Big Brother players, but the editors inserted a lot of Fessel B-roll whenever she talked about her past struggles finding allies. Despite multiple seasons of tension between them, this is a fairly non-confrontational team, face shove notwithstanding. And once Fessel got tired of getting a villains edit every season, he even started complimenting Amber on social media. Based on that, I think this rivalry mostly might not exist anymore, but Fessel's notoriously bad at working with a partner, so you never know.
He thinks I'm obsessed with him. That only started after you called the lawyers on me and said you felt threatened. That was the only,
You called lawyers? She threatened me.
Hold on. He called the lawyers on me because I said, you sit on social media and you argue with a woman all day long. Let me see how you'll feel arguing with a man. And he went and ran to the lawyers.
That's not what you said.
And my cousin was gonna come whoop your ass.
That's what you said. That's what you said. Hey, it is what it is.
Davon and Shane only played one season together, Final Reckoning, back in 2018. And in just that single season, even if it was 22 episodes, so much animosity built up between them, Davon told Shane they could never be friends. Highlights include Shane calling Davon a bitch.
You're insane and a bitch if you think that I did that for me.
First of all, you're not gonna call me a bitch. We're not gonna do that.
Shane calling Davon a bitch again.
Not how this game is played, because I don't dance to nobody's tune but my own. I know you think you're Geppetto and I'm Pinocchio, but you cannot make me move. I won't do it. He gets to call me a bitch? Why?
What, I'm not allowed to speak language to you because you're a girl?
You're not allowed to call me a bitch.
You mean like bitch?
And Shane calling Davon a bitch for a third time.
What's going on?
I call her a bitch a few times.
Why you calling her a bitch? You're not calling a woman a bitch.
Okay, well, I did, unfortunately.
Their feud continued on Twitter after filming. Then Davon told Shane her cousins were going to beat him up. Shane tried to get MTV's lawyers involved, and just as the two were about to maybe make up at the reunion, Devin intervened.
If you want to dead it today, we can dead it today. Me and you can't be friends because I still don't appreciate the fact that you called me a bitch. And it is a difference. You are a whole ass man. I am a woman. You should
You're
never
the same
fix your
person that
mouth.
just said, why are we talking about women empowerment? We should talk about people empowerment.
Yeah.
You're such a hypocrite, bro. That is crazy to me.
Their feud may have only lasted for one season that aired 7 years ago, but both Davon and Shane are such explosive arguers, I'd be dishonoring their contributions to the franchise by ranking their rivalry any lower than third.
I
I am so happy. Steve and I have got decades of past experiences together, like our OG road rules. This is the type of person who you want to keep around. Pretty awesome.
Adam and Steve first appeared on MTV together in 2001 on Road Rules: The Quest. Over 20 years later, they reunited on the Challenge All-Stars 4, where Adam waxed poetic about the joys of playing alongside his Road Rules brother. Then he voted Steve into elimination, just like he did on the Gauntlet. Only on All-Stars, he did it twice.
Steve, he's my brother from another mother. He works hard. He's a good husband. Like, over 22 years, we've kept in touch. He is an awesome partner in crime to try to get to the end with. Steve and I kind of came here, both of us expecting to be the outcast. He's finished in the bottom 7 out of the 10 times. So my vote is going to be for Leroy and Steve.
Knowing that one of your friends that you've known for 20 years made a decision to protect his star, knowing that I would be eliminated, left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth.
Right before the final, Steve finally retaliated when he stole Adam's star, a prop the contestants needed to be eligible for that season's final challenge. Adam was eliminated trying to earn another, but not before acting really bitter about Steve.
My motivation right now to get to the final would just be like, so I could clown Steve. Steve betrayed me for no reason. So my vote is going to be for Leroy and Steve. I feel betrayed. I put Steve in a bad place, but Steve's put himself in a bad place. There's also a reason that you don't have any friends. In real life and here. I'll never answer a phone call from you. I will delete every text. You are just so dead to me, man. You're no longer my number one, but you can sit and spin, bitch. Fuck.
Like Kellyanne versus Sylvia, the origin of Adam and Steve's feud is just reasonable gameplay that Adam frankly should have seen coming after voting Steve into all those eliminations. But because that gameplay ruined their relationship, I have no choice but to rank the resulting rivalry in the number 2 spot.
Nani should be happy. She's got the Turkish Chuck Norris on her team. And Nani's no slouch either. Nani's in a great position to make it to a final.
On War of the Worlds, when Nani and Turbo were paired up the first time, they were a goofy, rootable duo who probably should have been underdogs, but instead excelled as a team. But when the season turned individual, Turbo wound up partially responsible for Nani's elimination, thanks to a bizarre tape-based game I hope we never see again. The pair met up again the very next season on War of the Worlds 2, but Turbo's aura had gone dark. Despite Nani's support, he spent 2/3 of the season arguing before finally getting expelled for fighting in episode 10. 4 seasons later, Nani and Turbo both competed on Ride or Dies, but Turbo was even more of a villainous caricature than before. After Nani won a challenge, she used her power to send Turbo into just the second elimination because the entire cast was against him. He lost, and according to the All-Stars 5 trailer, he and Nani haven't spoken since. Their rivalry landed at the top of the ranking because they're a couple of hotheads with a joint storyline that spans 3 recent seasons, and as far as I can tell, Nani and Turbo are coming into All-Stars 5 still at odds. Here's hoping it stays that way long enough for them to get into a couple entertaining fights, but not so long that they don't have time to transition into fixing their relationship. Thanks for watching, and happy Challenge Day!